Welcome back to the evening show. Now, the word cancer really does have what it takes to scare even the strongest person, and it really is important to talk about it because I think cancer in Ireland really has a taboo about it. But Emma Hannigan is here to tell us all about her own personal experience with cancer. Emma, thank you so much for being with us.
Hi Olive, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and I have to say during the break we had a chance to have a quick chat, and you're just so upbeat and inspirational about the whole concept of talking about cancer. I mean, and your story is absolutely incredible.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's just my life, and it's but as I was saying to you, you know, a lot of people don't like to even say the word cancer, and it is unfortunately still a taboo subject, and I feel that there's still a stereotypical image of a cancer victim as such, which is someone who's bald and crawling around in their own vomit nearly, and it's this absolute doomsday when somebody mentions cancer. And I know that there are still people who pass away from cancer, and there are still awful stories, but there are so many positive stories, and I'm one of them, and that's one of the reasons that I'm talking out about it. And I want people to see that if you are diagnosed, or if you know and love someone who's just been diagnosed, don't give up. Don't say, okay, that's it now, everything is over for me. That's not necessarily the case a lot of the time now. So, the prognosis in general can be very good now with cancer. And I'm battling for the 7th time at the moment, which I'm getting to a stage, I'm hoping it's lucky number 7, because it's been a bit of a long road, all right, but I'm still here, and my prognosis is good, and the treatment I'm on at the moment is working. So, it's not all doom and gloom, and it's not all to be feared.
Now, you're sitting there saying, it's my 7th battle with cancer, but it's not all doom and gloom.
No.
Which is an incredible sentence when you think about it. Because, I mean, not everybody would have that upbeat, positive attitude towards it.
They don't. Not everybody does, and that's okay too. Everybody reacts differently, and everybody takes things differently. For me personally, I can't choose whether or not I get cancer again, but I can damn well choose what I'm going to do about it when I do get it. And, my prognosis is good. I know I'm one of the lucky ones because my cancer has always remained in my lymph nodes, so it's gettable, it's doable. And so I'm very lucky that the doctors have always had something on offer that can help me, which is great. So, I'm not here to glamorize cancer or to say, oh, it's all a walk in the park and it's great and it's easy. It's not. Wouldn't recommend it to a friend. It's not the most marvelous thing that can happen in somebody's life. But it's also, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's curtains either, and I'm not here to frighten people by saying I've had it 7 times. I don't want people looking and thinking, oh, holy God, right, she's had it 7 times, that's awful. I'm still here, and, this is my hair, and, my life is continuing, and in fact, my life has turned and gone in a different direction than I would ever have planned, because I was working full-time before I was sick, and I had 2 small children, and so I hadn't a whole lot of spare time. But when I got sick, I suddenly had lots of time because I had to sit, and it was like a long-haul flight all the time, and I'm not great at sitting down and doing nothing, so I started writing.
So this is where the book came from.
Yeah.
Now let's just go back to 2005 for people who aren't familiar with your actual story, because 2005 was when the dramatic change came in your life.
Yes. I discovered that I have a cancer-carrying gene called BRCA1 or BRCA1, which predisposes me to cancer at an 85% chance of breast cancer and a 50% chance of ovarian cancer. So I decided to take a preemptive strike, and I had a double mastectomy and had my ovaries removed, and then I had breast reconstruction, which brought me down to a 5% risk. And I thought, I pipped it at the post, I'm very smug, I'm fantastic, I did all that, great.
Absolutely.
And then a year later, I got cancer anyway. So
how did you feel when you got cancer at that stage? Because if that was me, I would just feel so angry about it.
Yeah, I didn't feel angry. Funnily enough, I've never felt angry. I knew that there was a very high chance. Fair enough, I went and had the surgery, so that was to bring my risk down to the 5%. But I happened to be the 5%. That was the way it was, and I felt at that stage I had come so far. I wasn't going to let it beat me at that stage. You know, I had done so much that it's, you know, when you've run as far as I had, you know, you're not going to turn back. So you're going to keep going. And you know, my prognosis has always been good, which I can't stress enough. You know I'm in a lucky position, and I know that the doctors have got alternatives and they've got stuff that they can do that can help. And so far, you know, it's working. So I'm still here, which is the main thing.
Looking fabulous.
Oh, thank you very much. Makeup is a marvellous thing, Olive. But anyway.
Now, how is your husband and your children doing? Because you have this remarkable, you know, positive way of dealing with it, and you know, even you do use humour to kind of get through it.
Absolutely,
as well.
You've got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you go insane, I think.
Absolutely, but how are they finding it?
They're great. You know, they really are. I speak to them the way I'm speaking to you. You know, cancer has never been a word that has been shooed away in our house. It's never been brushed under the carpet. The children were 4 and 5 when I had the surgery, and then they were obviously 5 and 6 a year later when I was diagnosed the first time. And I've always just tried to explain to them what's going on. I use the word cancer, I use the word tumour, I use chemotherapy, radiation. They know all those words, and they've known them from when they were very small. So I suppose it never got to a stage where words like that frightened them. And my track record as well, yes, I've had it 7 times, but I've gotten better 7 times as well. So as far as they're concerned, cancer is not as frightening a thing to them as it might have been. You know, they understand the implications of it more now that they're a little bit older. They do know that it can have a downside. They know that people can die, but they keep seeing me getting better. So, as do my family and friends. So, you know, we all take that as being kind of positive because I'm still alive, you know. That you can't get much more positive than that. So,
still here.
Yeah.
Now, the book, you said, it was actually your saviour.
It was, it really was. It was, you know, I suppose it's kind of common knowledge that if you write things down, it can be good. People do a diary, or they can, you know, they log things as kind of a spleen venting exercise. You know, if there's anything going on in your life, it can be great. And I'm probably not organised enough to keep a diary, so I started just, you know, writing what was happening and forgot to stop. It turned into Talk to the Headscarf, which is a great title, by the way. Oh, thank you. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm trying to dispel kind of, there's a lot of things in it, you know, a lot of things that you'd love to know about cancer, but you're afraid to ask. Kind of, what is chemotherapy? What do they do? Do you stand up, sit down? What happens to you? What is radiation? How do you feel when you've had chemotherapy? What's it like to lose your hair? Also facts like, you know, I'm on chemotherapy at the moment and I haven't lost my hair. I only lost my hair once. And, you know, even the sickness element of it, there are so many new drugs now that there's no need to be really sick. If you're having chemotherapy at the moment and you're violently ill, tell your doctor, because there are so many drugs available now. The advances are constant. Even in the last 5 years since I've battled, the advances are astonishing. You know, the chemotherapy I'm on at the moment, I took this morning before I came in here, and it's tablet form. So I don't look like a junkie all the time. I don't have the bruised veins constantly. So, you know, the advances are astonishing too. And so all of that, it comes across in the book as well. It's not all awful, and that's what I want people to know. There's hope, you know.
Because the Irish in particular are the worst in the world for coping with and dealing with talking about a difficult issue. You know, I mean, do you find that people almost want to walk the other side of the road so that they don't have to go, "Hi Emma, how are you today?"
Not necessarily, well, not with me, because I am very open about it and I chat to people about it all the time. So it hasn't been like that for me, but I have found astonishing feedback since the book has come out. The amount of people who have emailed me, and you know, they've gone onto the website and they've emailed and told me some of their story, and so many people are saying it's the first time I have spoken about this or that I've told anybody. I can't believe I'm writing to someone I don't know, but because they've read my story and I have been open and have spoken about it, it seems to be prompting other people to do it too, which is just such a privilege from my part, because people are sharing their stories with me. But you know, I know that more and more, even being in the oncology unit, I go in every 3 weeks for a drug called Avastin, which is a prevention drug, and people talk in there. Like, talking is getting better in this country, you know, which is great, because everybody has problems at the moment. You know, mine happens to be, my annoyance happens to be cancer, but you know, everybody's got stuff going on at the moment. It's a tough old time out there. Absolutely. And you know, talking is a great thing.
It is, and I mean, you talk so articulately about the big C word, which, you know, is so important. And I think by taking away the taboo about cancer, I think it can only be good, really.
I think it helps. Talking about anything helps, doesn't it? It
really does. And the book is an inspiration. Your story is an inspiration to anybody who has cancer at the moment or who may just be getting diagnosed. So thank you so much for telling us all about it. The book
Not at all. Thank you for having me.
Is where at the moment?
It's in all good bookshops. You can get it on Amazon, and it's in all of the bookshops. It's called Talk to the Headscarf, and it's being published by Hachette.
Perfect. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck with it. We wish you health.
Thank you.
Time lucky.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
The truly inspirational Emma Hannigan and her book, Talk to the Headscarf, as she said there, in all good bookstores now. So do go along and pick up a copy and show her some support. Now, that is your lot for tonight. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be taking a look at travel with Use It, and we're also taking a trip to the Grand Canal Theatre for some behind-the-scenes footage of Calendar Girls. That's all coming up tomorrow at 7, repeated at 9. See you then.